Okay. Uh, oh, jeez. I regularly get myself into trouble with friends and colleagues and stuff like that when I say outrageous stuff like gun violence is actually down and that the president is not. Um, Starting some kind of weird, like a basic race war between the race of police and the race of civilians, and that he's not. I get in trouble for all kinds of stuff like that. So somebody said, back up your statement. So I did. I went to the not just some regular, just bizarre website. I went to the National Law Enforcement website, and I asked about police deaths since 1980. The number was rather disturbing. The number of police officers who've been killed in the line of duty since 1980. But what I found very difficult was to actually pinpoint the number of police officers who've been shot in the line of duty. The numbers were very much how many police officers died, not necessarily how many were killed in the line of duty, by a perp with a gun or whatever. It took some digging, but I think I got to the bottom numbers, and let's just start with let's go with Ronald Reagan. Everybody loved Ronnie. He was our president for 8 years. So between 1980 and 1988, obviously the next president took office in 1989. But between 1980 and 1988, we had a total of 1,521 police officer deaths. Now, according to another website that I found, which wasn't as accredited as the National Law Enforcement Agency, 576 of those 1,521 deaths, so roughly 38 to 40% of those deaths were caused by violence against a police officer. It's the 80s, it's crack, say no to drugs. I mean, we were out of our fucking minds in the 80s, thanks to whoever, you drug manufacturers in the 80s, whoo! You certainly turned us on as a country to cocaine, the Tech 9, the Mac 11, and all kinds of other Uzis and mini Uzis, and we did some gun reform. As you recall, Reagan got shot. A lot of us are the only people, a lot of the people alive today, the only president in your lifetime to ever have been shot, and live, would have been Reagan. Kennedy obviously didn't make it if he were alive in the 60s. But anyway, so then we move on to George Bush Sr. He was only president for 4 years. Read my lips, no new taxes. Read our lips, no re-election. 664 police officers died in those 4 years. That's an average of 166 per year. It does not say statistically, actually, George Bush Sr. doesn't qualify on their website as relevant. I'm sorry, that's not me. I swear that's not me. If you go digging, it's tough to find how many police officers were killed through gun violence during George Bush Sr.'s administration, George H. Bush. During the Clinton administration, up until 2000, 1,309 police officers lost their lives. 528 of those were due to gun violence. So that's an average of about 164 a year, and it's actually 40% of the deaths of police officers were caused by violence against them. Okay. Let's move on. We'll go on to George Jr. During his 8 years, 1,374 police officers died on his watch, 405 of which are attributed to direct gun violence, which is roughly 30%. It's about 172 per year. Again, a very disturbing number. And I think we're seeing a trend here, and I think we're seeing the trend is that between 30 and 40% of the police officer deaths per year are attributed to gun violence, which kind of makes sense. I mean, they're cops. It's like saying that 80% of all military deaths in combat are due to gunfire. It's a dangerous job. It's a very fucking dangerous job. It's a thankless. We love them when we need them, and we fucking hate them when we see them in our rearview mirror, and we have that little bit of a joint left in the fucking ashtray. Let's just call a spade a spade. As much as we love our cops, we also are scared shitless of our own police force, and it's our own doing, it's their doing, it's everybody's doing. It's just the way that it works. Authority figures will always hold sway over the common man or woman or whatever we call ourselves. So all right, last one. We didn't do this. I got sidetracked. Since Obama has taken office, again, he's not through with his presidency yet. His presidency won't be through until January of 2017. So we have a year and some change because this is September. But so far, 807 police officers, not counting the 83, so that would make 890 police officers dead during his administration. 890, and of those, that roughly works out to like 130 something a year. Of those, 314 are attributable to police violence. So once again, back up to the Ronald Reagan 38% number. So again, between 30 and 40% of all police deaths are caused by general thuggery and gun violence, and absolutely has nothing to do with whether or not the president is starting a war between the police and the civilians. I will note, however, I did it year by year. You can see here every single year of Reagan. You can see 1980, 81, 82, 83, or you can actually just do it all the way up through 88. I will note that the lowest numbers for any president are going to be the current administration. Last year, 117. The year before was 107. The year before that was 126, etc. Lowest year for Bush Jr., lowest number of police deaths during his administration, 148. Highest number, 241. Same with Clinton. Lowest year was 93, 94, 95. 1996, 140. Highest was 183, which was the year before. Bush Jr., 196 is the high, 148 is the low. Reagan, 207 is the high, and 176 is the low for that year. So there it is. I know that's a lot of math, and I just was trying to set some people straight that were saying that this current administration is facilitating a war between the police officers and the civilians. And I wanted to remind you that the president has never come out and told you to shoot a police officer, nor has any police officer ever come out and said, we're just going to start shooting civilians. So that really kind of comes down to your own general misconception, perception, or ingestion of the information that's available to you out there on the interweb. That took me about half an hour to put all those things together. And I don't know, I hope it was mildly informative. And this is going to be our 10 minutes. So We'll see you soon.